Women are creatures of change, and men don't change. Look at the men; they don't age as quickly as women. Our sperm, like sex life, is almost the same throughout your entire life until maybe 70s. Now we have Viagra.
You've always had Viagra.
I mean,
When was that created?
I was, I don't know. Again, I'm 40.
I would Google it, but I don't
You're
have
20.
internet.
We're not gonna say how old you are, but
Yeah, I'm 29.
I was alive when they discovered Viagra. Same way we're living through Ozempic right now. Like when Viagra came out, it was like Ozempic. People are like, what? Erections just with a pill? That wasn't a thing before.
And Ozempic, I haven't done too much. I've seen the commercials, but it's basically Viagra for women.
It's, well, in a way,
Yeah.
it does have a lot of other healthy effects.
Does it?
Yeah,
Like
because
what?
it's I think I have a friend of mine who her father has some heart issues, and Ozempic is having a positive side effect on his heart.
Oh, that's great.
because
So
of-
men can use it too.
Oh yeah, but you don't know what Ozempic is for, right? You just heard of it.
I've seen ads, but I've never looked into it.
It's a diabetes medication,
Oh.
but
Oh. But it's for
That's why it's funny.
Sexual pleasure too?
no, not at all. It's that's the funny part, is that I said yes to what you're saying, thinking that you were making a joke.
Oh, no, I was
Because it's women. Maybe you know that a lot of women are taking it because it's been used for weight loss. So amongst your friends, you would hear more women talking about it than men. So that's why you thought that. I think that's why you thought it was it's a women's thing, but it's not. It's just a weight loss.
Well, I think no, I don't have friends on it, but not that I know of. But I've seen commercials with Ozempic,
A lot of
and
women in
it's
it.
directed towards
Yes,
women.
yes, of course, because of what I
It's
said.
helping
Yes,
women. Okay.
because mostly who's gonna, like, I know, and I'm not saying women are fat, but I'm just saying that women would take it more than men, even if they're a little bit overweight. Even if I just want to be thinner, they would still take Ozempic to more than men. So again, like, I know a lot of people in my life that are on it.
Really?
Just because
For weight loss or diabetes or for sex?
for weight loss. The sex part, I don't think, like, that's the joke that I thought you were making, is that, because women take it, they get thin, so they feel better about themselves, so they have better sex.
Well, that's
so it's
true.
kind of, yeah. That's
Well,
how,
they feel sexier. Which helps.
that's the analogy that I was making
Got
from what
it.
you were saying.
Oh, see, I
So-
think that there is then a different pill like Viagra for women. I heard that there was some creation. I wish we can Google.
It's
this
called
right
money. This is
called
the pill.
money?
It's called money. That's the Viagra for pill. If you're just joining us right now, we are recording. We are having technical difficulties. This is Eliana Rosen, right?
now. Yes.
I'm just having a hard time saying Jewish names. No. This is Eliana. She's gonna be my new producer in this
Yes.
podcast. Look how seriously I'm taking this. I'm hiring people to make this podcast become a thing. I mean, like,
Yes.
I've rented this place
Yes.
so we can come here and try things out.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for
This is amazing. It's
getting me on board.
I've known you from before. We went to college together. That was the interesting thing, is that when I've met her, she was an 18-year-old child, and now she's like an adult who's like looking for a job, and I'm old enough to be like, oh, I know how to write recommendation letters. You're hired. This can be your first job, and then you go on and become a successful producer.
Yeah.
But this is your side gig,
Yeah.
because
I mean, side gig, but open to opportunities and in the direction of a career. It interests me, podcast producing. And
because you do music too.
yeah, I am a singer-songwriter releasing music. I act as well, obviously. You were my so Sam was my director in college.
We did a one act with John Leprino,
Yes.
who we are trying to bring on the podcast.
Yeah.
It'll be so much fun.
A student one act that you wrote called
Yes.
2107.
Shout out to Peggy O'Neill. She was my voiceover. Do you know Peggy?
I never had, she was a teacher, right? A professor? I never had a class with her, but I had heard about her.
She was giving us voiceover classes, And it was my first semester after abandoning my dreams of becoming an engineer. That wasn't a dream, of like the social pressure of becoming an engineer. And I came here and I was like, oh my God, look, they're doing acting and stuff. I'll try this shit out. And when the one acts came, I wrote like a monologue, a teenage monologue that if you read, it would give you pain in your stomach just from, it's, you know how, you've seen bad writing before.
Yeah.
But she read it, which was enough for me to write a second draft and then have the balls
I see.
to apply for.
You're saying your first draft was so bad it gave you that ick.
Yes.
Like, cringe feeling.
If I look at
see.
it now, of course, back then when I was introducing it to Peggy, I was like, here's my child.
It's my masterpiece.
This is what I wrote my hands.
This is my baby.
It was guided by Jesus during this. I can't figure out the mic.
What do you mean?
It's on a goddamn wheel. So there is a lot of like moving and then when I get it to the right height, it tilts over. So I'm holding it like this, as if I'm like the Greek guy holding the earth. Anyways,
think this is a conundrum right here. You're thinking way too much.
then I broke the entire set.
I never even messed with this, and it's working great.
How is that? How did you do that?
I just adjusted this good thing. I don't know what it's called. Yeah. Are you doing okay?
I think so. It's just I'm seeing my volumes. It looks okay. So all right. So
Peggy.
Peggy, she read the thing, which made me do the play. Which gave me the balls.
Was that your start into acting at all and into comedy? But you had already done comedy?
I haven't done comedy. I was doing. I had an English magazine in Egypt that was writing English articles. And I applied for it and got the job. I think that would be my first comedy job.
Wait, so you were a writer in Egypt?
Yes.
For an English language magazine?
Yeah.
So it was the only magazine in Egypt that was in English?
No, there was a bunch, but this was like a it was like for youth.
Okay.
And it has like a light tone in it, fun.
Cool.
It was reviewing places that people go to eat and stuff like that.
But it was comedy?
It was the first official aspect of, I have to write something funny in an article or write a humorous essay about a place I went and ate at. But I was in the closet comedy-wise. Like, I couldn't believe it.
You were in the comedy closet.
I was in the comedy closet. I used to, I've never done this bit, but like, I was in the gay career closet of the engineering because everyone around you in Egypt is either an engineer or a doctor or a loser. So there's no other options. You either become one of these things.
Wow.
And even the idea of saying that, I want to be an actor, it almost felt like saying, like, I like cock. Like, I almost felt the same way because it's not accepted in society because what are you going to do with your life? You're just going to waste your life and being a clown. Exactly. When I was studying business in Moorpark. And then we took like one of the elective classes was a music class or something. And I met an actor. And I asked him, what do you do for a living? And he said, I'm an actor. And my first thought was like, shh, they're going to hear you. Don't say this out loud. You crazy? You're just saying this in front in public? You want to get shot? I didn't know. I finally was like, I can really do this. I used to write articles when I was small. I would do like little skits and call myself and do voices. But they were like, Sam is crazy. Go get an engineering degree. Like, what are you going to do?
Were your parents very much like that?
It's parents and society. Like
in Egypt specifically, that world.
In general, in the Middle Eastern world and in countries where there is more people than opportunities, now it becomes about what makes you different. What makes you more distinguished? I have a bachelor's degree in what? Engineering. Okay, great. Now there is like a degree inflation. So now we're at the point where you need to have a master's to get a job. And
depends on what industry you go into.
You're seeing now, even in like dumb industries, like, what do you have? You don't have a PhD in anything for your donut business? No.
Wait, really? No. Obviously the donut business is a joke, but I've been finding that less and less people are needing degrees because they can learn everything online
here, and I mean
with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but still, like even they're just talking. Biden was just talking about Biden. What of your political people? We're talking about how we need to make it not a necessity to have a degree to work in the government, because it was a necessity. So
Right.
still it's required. In Egypt, it is what you guys have here, but with inflation. Like, so everybody has an engineering degree, to the point that if you're in the street and there's like, our public transportation is like a little minivan that just stuffs people in it like a sardine can. And the guy that pulls you inside the sardine can, if he doesn't know your name, he'll just call you Bashmuhandis, which is Turkish for engineer.
Oh.
That's what if you don't know somebody's name, Bashmuhandis, because everybody's an engineer.
Interesting.
So this is it.
And
how did we get into the Egyptian societal?
I don't know. We were talking about Peggy, and I asked
you
you,
asked me, was this
have
my
you
first time?
always like?
It was
that
my
the
first
start?
official time into saying, oh, I'm in acting class, I'm writing into a script, I'm reading a line, there will be a camera. That was.
So what brought you then to California?
I came to, my stepdad had a business here, and they wanted somebody who speaks the language. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna come and manage the business, and while I'm here, I'm just gonna go study business.
Yeah.
At Moorpark,
Good
because it
plan.
was like cheap. It was a good price even for like a foreigner. I think you were interviewing me. This is my NPR thing. It's like
I went into natural interview
hysteric
mode.
gross. Wait, we want to do the. I want to again. We're gonna get to know. This is happening live, where we're kind of like getting to know each other more, because I haven't seen her in 10 years.
Yeah, we FaceTimed like twice before this, but we
Yeah.
hadn't. Oh, you came to a show of mine back in 2021 at Molly Malone's. That was probably the last time I saw you in person.
That was also the last time I saw like people from college.
Yeah,
From
that was my first show out of the pandemic, and I sold it that way. I mean, I reached out to at least 100 people or so saying, first show since the pandemic, come on out. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun, whatever. And people showed. I
really
I was impressed with
appreciate it.
myself.
Yes, I was impressed with you. I still have like when I think of, because I have this show that this is the point of this is the show I'm doing here in LA. But I'm trying to treat this as a business. I'm trying to sell tickets. And I was thinking of you when I was texting people, because you were on it, and it didn't feel pushy. It was like nice. It was like an equal amount of, I have a show. I'm not going to make this as sticky as like, oh my God, I miss you. How are you? For every text.
Yeah.
It was straightforward. This is what's happening. So no, I think of you every time when I'm writing a text.
I personalize them for sure.
A little.
Depending on the person. Yeah.
It's like we both know what's happening. I know what this text is, and you know why you're sending this text, that we're not really that close. It's really nice when somebody hits the middle ground of, I personalized, but also we know what this is. This is the perfect text.
It feels so. The first show that show we're talking about felt natural, because it was my first time really trying to get people to a show. I had to meet at least 20 people minimum, and I surpassed that, which was great. But it felt authentic. And then every show since, there's this ickiness that comes with sending a text, because it's not just a short text. I mean, it's an invite and then a link to tickets. And what I'm asking is, please purchase the tickets, because I got someone else in my ear telling me I need to sell tickets.
I need you.
And so it feels like I'm using somebody just for, them to buy a ticket, which isn't the case. I do want people to come. I want an audience. But there's this element of they're going to just roll their eyes and ignore it. A lot of people do ignore the text.
Yeah, which is fine. Which is
I don't mind.
But also what I'm learning over the years is that you also see how many people responded, even if they didn't come, just the amount of support and love that they gave you back. And that becomes it offsets the people that don't respond. It's like, oh, look at how nice this, even if 10 people respond, the amount of love that's coming out of 10 is strong, that it covers the 30 that did not respond.
And people show up who you wouldn't even think would show. And it's always surprising. It's so nice. It's so appreciated. I get super overwhelmed at shows because I feel like I need to give each person my undivided attention and show appreciation. Oh my God, thank you so much. Meanwhile, it's loud in there. It's, before the show, I've made the mistake of doing that, and then I'm just screaming and my voice is being lost. But
sorry, continue.
No, it just feels like sometimes I can't express appreciation the way I want to without it coming off fake or something.
This is a conundrum. See, yes, because it's like I'm not apologizing perfectly. Like I want to give you the same amount of love. Should I? But like it has its ups and downs, because when you send a personalized message, that means a lot of people are gonna think this is personal.
Yeah.
Which means they're gonna text you before the show, and now you're trying to do your shit, getting prepared mentally or whatever, and then you're getting where should I park? Where is it?
Yep, I got that. Yeah.
And then you're going there and you're throwing a party and performing at the same time, and there's so much pressure.
Exactly.
And then because of all the guilt that
there's so much
sending
guilt.
Yes, I know, it's the Jews and the Egyptians, there's something in common. It's very weird. No, guilt, I would
it's
say,
a human
is like
thing, but
guilt is a human
people
thing.
pleaser.
Yes.
I was just thinking of something as you were talking that
that's my effect. Yes. When I talk, other people think.
Yeah, no, keep
go ahead.
talking, because it escaped my mind. It's about this conversation of shoot, I don't know.
Again, you're talking to somebody who has ADHD, where I'm like, I have no idea.
Well, yeah, because I relate to the people. The personalized. Okay, yes, because it's personalized, and there are people who think you're really just reaching out to them about it. And maybe they're not so naive. Obviously, I'm reaching out to other people, but I actually ran into a situation once where there was this guy who I invited, and he got really offended later on because it felt impersonal once he realized, oh, you're just sending this text to everybody. And it wasn't a flirtatious.
Wait, how old is this person? Oh, again, 20 something.
So the backstory is I did meet him originally on a dating app. This was years ago, before one of the shows.
Oh, I see.
But we never ended up going on a date. But it was one of those things where we followed each other on Instagram anyway. And that was it. We never met. But I invited him to a show because what I do when I invite people to shows is I go through my Instagram list of who lives in LA, who maybe would come, who, even if maybe they wouldn't, I still send the invite. There's no harm. And he was one of those people. And he was very appreciative that I invited him. But then it became really weird when he suddenly got almost vindictive about me inviting other people and it not being as special or something. So I have to be careful with kind of, I don't want to lead, especially the male side.
Yes, this is exactly it.
Yeah.
It sounds like that guy was like, I'm building my papers very slowly over the years. Now she's following me on Instagram, and then eventually.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that deep. I never even met.
I guess in his mind, because like, why would you get offended that, oh, she's invited other people to her show? Like, what is exactly, you thought she just invited you. You're the only one.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had those messages in front of me because I could explain it better. But yeah, it was super bizarre. So I'm careful about personal invites now, and especially with guys, and not, especially now because I do have a boyfriend, like not coming off flirty or like I'm trying to hang out with them or stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, as long as you're not sending nudes, this is pretty straightforward. I have a show, come to the show. If you take this as flirtation, it's something wrong with you.
Well, I used to be more, hey, exclamation point, hope you're doing well. I have a show coming up. Bring, if I know them a little personally, like bring your this or whatever. And I think with exclamation points, and if I put a smiley face, it could read as flirtatious.
No. I mean, again, I know, again, this is another women conundrum, which is the line for what is normal and what is flirting. Men keeps pushing back because we have this weird thing. I'm making fun of it, and I'm a victim of it. I do it all the time. Is that whenever you're in a public situation and an attractive woman approaches you, you're like, she's making a move. Mm-hmm. She's standing next to me. Oh my God, she reached out for her coffee cup. This is clearly a sign. And it just becomes like this over everything. Oh, she invited me to a show, sex.
Yeah.
Again, so I'm sorry, but this is psychology. Like, testosterone is a shitty drug.
Well, especially if a pretty girl or someone that you have an interest in smiles at you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I was single, or even a close friend, if we're out and there's a cute guy and he were to smile at one of us, you would probably think, oh, maybe he's giving me the eyes or interested. But girls do that all the time. I smile at so many people.
But here's the thing, because in the smiling for you is a green light. I smile, it doesn't mean anything because my thing is action. I have to move on and approach you. So the smiling is just a blank shot. It doesn't mean anything. For you, that smile is come approach me. Like, oh, I'm open for business.
Guys think women.
Yes, that's what
Guys think women's smile is an
open invitation.
Yeah, it's
to
an
come
open
hit
door
on
to
me.
come say
yes,
hi.
Open door.
It's not all the time.
No, it's not. But again, like this is the man's fault. But then, or men's fault, testosterone.
Yeah.
But then because women are trying to counteract that, it just keeps moving back to where you are now questioning whether me inviting somebody to a show is a sign of flirting.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
all
on you.
those
It's on
smiles
them.
and everything, it's very situational. It depends where you're at, too. I don't
Poor
know.
man. This is what we
Dating's
got out of
hard.
here.
I don't envy it.
It's yeah.
But it's fun. It should be fun, too. Are you not able to get camera?
Yeah,
on
no,
you?
I gave up. I gave up. We have no coverage. We have no camera.
We can pause mine and then now put it on you.
And just like keep moving the camera every single time. Do this like a stop animation type of
Why
thing.
don't we get my iPad?
You be saying, hey, we have
I mean,
what,
we have
10 more minutes
Do you want my iPad?
left. No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Again, I'm just gonna do from this shot.
Okay.
But I wanna do the conundrums that you have.
Okay. So
Again, I'm trying to make something here where I live to the name of the podcast. My reason for having a podcast called Conundrum is that I overthink like small things. My example of that is when you're brushing your teeth, do you floss first and brush second, or brush second and floss first? I think I said the same thing twice, but in different order. But you know what I mean. So we were looking for conundrums like this, and I asked Eliana, as my newly appointed producer-in-chief, of like, what ideas do you have if you can find friends who have problems? I'm going to add a bunch of other later, but we just want to hear what Eliana have to say.
also, if you have a conundrum,
Ooh, nice.
if you have a conundrum that you want some insight on or some advice, or just to share for us to talk about, feel free to email in at
Conundrum dumb.
What?
Conundrum, the same way you write conundrum, and then DUM at gmail.com. I
love
don't know why I have it.
Well, we'll put it at the bottom
Yes,
of this
we'll put
page,
it. Oh, right,
right?
she's pointing. She's ready. Look at this. She's like doing pointy things.
Well, right here.
All right. Yes.
Yeah, so I reached out to a few friends. 2 of them got back to me. These are actually some more serious ones.
All right.
So one of my good friends, she said deciding between sleep training for her daughter was a very hard decision if she should or should not. And then also for her daughter, putting her in school or not putting her in school and waiting till she's 3.
Oh, I see. Wait, did you talk to her about these things? Like, did you guys have a discussion, or was it?
So this was just her texting me. We've talked about it. I've been with her through these dilemmas over the years.
What is the sleep training one?
So
I need more details.
I know.
I'm gonna be vaping.
I wish we had internet working, because I would go more into what sleep training is. My understanding, the simplest way to put it, sleep training would be, and a lot of mothers have issue with this, is letting the baby cry as opposed to every time the baby cries picking her up. or him up.
I have a friend of mine who went through sleep training with her child, and it sounded very traumatic. It sounded like, like I think they would have something where they come and whisper, "Go to sleep, little one." It was so terrible. And I was like, what is this? We're like making a horror movie.
Oh, that's so funny. That's actually not a bad idea.
No.
Or having your voice pre-recorded. That's an idea. But I think they want you to hold them.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. I think it's gonna be traumatic no matter what, is what I'm trying to say. My sister, my dad, when he wanted us to go to bed, he would come and sing a song from a cartoon. You know the da 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 da.
Yeah.
Hayya ila naum, hayya ila naum, which means let's go to sleep, let's go to sleep.
Oh,
He
go
would
to
come,
sleep,
yeah,
go to
he would
sleep,
come
little
sing this,
baby.
hayya ila naum, and then my sister, if I sing that song now in our 40s, she is like, stop, it's
Oh.
too much, don't do that.
Interesting.
So I think
that
it's-
really stuck with her.
Yeah.
If he was singing it from what, infant to 1-2 years old?
40 years ago.
Wow, and that really stuck with her. That's right.
So that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. It's sleep training is going to be traumatic no matter what, in my opinion. And I don't have any kids. I don't have any childhood psychology degree. But I feel, from my opinion, that it's going to be traumatic either way. So save your money
Well,
and just traumatize the kid yourself. Why would you have strangers traumatize your kid?
well, so if anyone's listening who knows more about this, they
yes,
might
please.
be cringing because we don't know what we're talking about. So maybe the next time I'll look more into it. But
Maybe that can be a thing where I'm like, Sam's dumb advice. And then we go to an expert. Well, expert says. No, actually.
but I think so. My friend had a really hard time just letting her cry, and so I've actually had multiple friends who had a hard time letting the baby cry, but their husbands wanted to let the baby cry. So they were on, and that was a point of hardship
An argument.
and
Conflict.
but I think it's just a woman's instinct to want to hold their baby
Yeah.
when they're crying. I also have a different girlfriend who actually has trauma from her being a baby because her parents let her cry too long for a very long time and left her alone. And I think there is something to be said. So I don't know. God, being a parent must be so hard.
Yeah.
And making these decisions, I think I would probably be one to not maybe okay, you know what I would do? Okay, actually, I think this is part of sleep training. You let them cry in segments. So let them cry maybe 2 minutes by themselves and then go pick them up. And then 5 minutes and then pick them up. And then 10, and maybe that way.
Wait, you
that's
came up
sleep
with this
training.
technique on your own just right now?
Well, I thought that actually makes sense just now, but I think that might be some sleep training. I don't know. Someone let me know.
Again, like we're
I
just
don't have a
farting
child.
here.
We don't
But-
have children, so we haven't done research.
But this sounds this sounds the same way we do workouts. Like this is the same way the body works, is that you do increments. This is
Yeah.
what do they call it? This is the Fibonacci sequence. 1, 2, and it keeps increasing.
Yeah, or it was like when I started eating almond butter. I really wanted your face. You're like,
I was like, how is that? How is
where
that
are
like
you
this?
going with this? Because I was a big peanut butter girl.
Oh, I see. No, actually, let's bring it. Oh, let me finish that one.
Yeah, so I was a big peanut butter girl, reduced fat Jif peanut butter. So bad for you. But my mom ate that with apples all the time, and I got into it. And I learned in my late teens, early 20s, that peanut butter is actually really bad for you. And
Also?
surprise, surprise.
Oh, really?
It's not great for you. I don't know how
Okay.
bad it is for you, but it's not great for you. And almond peanut butter, whatever, is way better for you.
Buttery
So
almond.
I started eating that instead as a replacement, and I really didn't care for it at first. And now I love it and I prefer it. But it was getting your taste buds used to it
Yes.
over time.
We can bring this back to also Israel, because
Okay.
now her face when I said Israel.
Where are you going with this? What is going on?
You know, like it's very famous that Israelis in general have conquered peanut butter allergies.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh, you didn't know that?
that.
Okay. It's because the bamba. Are you familiar with the
Oh,
bamba?
yeah, of course.
Yeah. This is also, while we're on the topic, this is how I'm boycotting Israel. I stopped eating bamba.
Wait, really?
That's really all of my damage. No, we're talking about bamba. I love bamba. I love bamba so much. I used to go to Trader Joe's and buy maybe I was talking to Trader Joe's about getting boxes of bamba because it's the perfect snack. It's cheap. It's healthy. It's nice. But anyways, back to the main topic. They discovered that you can cure peanut butter allergies if you introduce peanut butter in small dosages.
Okay.
And bamba in Israel That's how they made the kids immune. Like even kids that had peanut butter allergy, they cured it.
Wow.
Because of here's a little bit of Bombay.
Are
here,
you
here.
serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
This is legit?
Look it up. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Like I'm
'Cause
surprised. I'm surprised you don't know this because a lot of Jews like to what is the word?
Brag about
Brag
it?
about it. Yeah.
Well, peanut allergies are serious allergies.
But
And
they're
you're saying it
they're
got rid of
little
it?
in Israel. Yeah.
Why hasn't that come to America?
Because Americans are afraid of doing that.
Really? Well, they should
It's
be
the sleep
because
training
it's okay.
They're afraid of giving the strong dose and killing the child, and it needs Middle Eastern cold motherhood to be like, nope, my child is gonna be okay here.
Yeah.
Here's
Also,
a peanut
things are
butter.
processed a little differently here, right? So would it even have that same effect?
It's the same. It's just the idea of introducing peanut butter to your system in small dosages until it gets used to it, and then
Interesting.
you get used to it. I wanted to ask you some of my ritual questions, but my phone is over there. When you get out of the shower and you're getting ready to get dressed, you're leaving. Okay. Now you have your socks, your undergarments, and then your pants, your shirt. Of course, the pants and shirts go later, but like from the undergarments and the socks, which do you wear first?
What do I put on, socks first or pants?
Yes.
Okay, for me, it usually depends on what pant it is. So if I'm
it's a woman thing. Interesting.
so if I'm putting on leggings, I put usually the socks on first because the leggings are usually tighter, so it has to okay, so if I put on the leggings first, if then I put on socks, okay, wait.
What's
Okay.
happening? This is exactly what I mean.
First of all, I just want to say I'm not religious about anyone.
Okay.
It really depends. But
Let's say you're wearing
my
jeans.
feet get cold.
Okay.
So like in the morning, I'll usually just put on socks right away anyway. So they're already on
So you'll
my
be
feet.
already wearing socks.
Yeah.
All right. Even in the summer.
No.
Okay.
But summer I'm usually leaving with flip-flops unless I'm going to work.
All right, let's imagine this. Let's imagine you're wearing an outfit that's going to include you wearing tennis shoes, some jeans, and whatever top you want to wear. I'm just saying here,
Yes.
I used to always do like almost dress bottom up and then shoes later.
Okay.
Shoes are like the top of the, after everything else is done, I would put on my shoes. I put on my socks.
I have an answer.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
I think a lot of the time it has to do with the cut of the sock. So if it's a higher sock that goes above, the ankle, I'm going to put those on first. Because if I don't, I'm going to have to lift the pant up, unless I'm wearing these. I'll lift the pant up, have to smooth it, and then put it down. As opposed to having it smooth and then just putting your pants on. For example, I had a gig recently at Rosenthal Wineries, and it was a Halloween, whatever. I wore a Halloween costume because it was end of October. And I wore these leather type leggings, and those are tight. They were very tight. And I wore higher socks. So I specifically put on the socks first. I thought about this. I was like, I should put on the socks first because the leggings are so tight and that I don't want to have to lift the legging. So I don't know if guys have this problem with the skinny
leggings.
jeans.
I mean, we have the same problem with, because we all wear boxers. So your boxers need to fit here, if between the thigh part. And if they bunch up, if you just put it and while you're pulling your pants, this side of the boxer just bunch up, you're just gonna be
that's
walking
annoying.
with this little wobbly thing, and then it's not socially acceptable for you to adjust your balls in public, so you're just gonna be in agony until you find a bathroom. So there is also a technique into how are you gonna make sure you put your hands and slide the thing out.
Got it.
So but you see, this is very interesting.
I've never seen my boyfriend do that.
Just watch him next time, unless he wears Speedos.
No, he doesn't.
No, just watch him the next time. I would also I will add this to my conundrum. I have a way of how do you pull the boxer while you're wearing the pants with the belt on so that you can just move the boxer without the pants.
Oh, because then you have to undo the belt.
Yes.
Oh.
So it's, again.
And then it looks a little weird. It looks creepy. You can't be a man in public
have
undoing your
boxers
belt.
on,
That is
I mean, in America.
in America. Well, I feel like
I've
anywhere.
seen this a lot in Egypt where people are like, oh, excuse me, and then just unbuckle, adjust clothes. Because they're still wearing anything, you're not seeing it, but it's a naked man in public. I don't understand. If you're in LA, come to the show on the 14th of November. I don't even think this episode is gonna be out by then, but we plugged in. So
It might.
it might. All right, thank you. That's it. Bye.
Bye.
All right, we have to put this
Cut my bye out. That wasn't cute.